All right. Here we are for another installment of Hilchos Pesach. So we talked about the mitzvah of tashbisu. An interesting question is tashbisu, which is the mitzvah to get rid of your chametz, is that a mitzvah that you must perform if you have chametz, or is it? In other words, if somebody doesn't have chametz, then great. Or is the mitzvah that you should destroy chametz with a practical difference? Let's say a person has no chametz. Should he go out of his way to get chametz in order to destroy it? So actually, we are sort of machmir like that a person should, if he could, go out of his way to get chametz to destroy it on Erev Pesach. And that's why we said, it's part of the reason why we set out those 10 pieces of bread, so that we should be able to have a 10 pieces of chametz that we're going to be able to destroy on the next day. So now I also want to discuss the mitzvah of bedikas chametz. Bedikas chametz is going to be the night before Pesach. You have to clean or check for chametz, not clean, but check for chametz in every place that it's probable that chametz, or possible that even that chametz was brought in. That includes your car, that is assuming we're going to be let out of the house, that includes your garage, that includes every part. If you never went to your attic, you don't have to check your attic. If you never went to your furnace room, you don't have to check the furnace room. But anywhere that you think there could have chametz been brought, then you have to go and check it. Again, we're not searching for crumbs during bedikas chametz, except if it's in the kitchen, the chairs or something like that. We are searching for things, any type of chametz that exists around the house that is the size of a kazayas. Nevertheless, it does have to be a serious search. You do have to take it seriously. It's not just like take the candle and look around the room. You have to check the cracks and the crevices, open up the nightstand, open up the thing to make sure that you didn't sometime drop a cookie in there or something like that. But it's not something that takes hours and hours, although by some it does. But it should go ahead and involve you making sure that there is no chametz in the house. Who can do it? L'chatchila, you shouldn't ask a katan to do it. Even l'chatchila, you should. The head of the household should do it. You should do it. Nevertheless, we could relegate it to if the woman nowadays, women are very, very makbid on bedikas chametz and checking for the house. They're the ones that generally clean the whole house for the rest of the bedikas chametz. And therefore, technically, it is mutter for the lady of the house to go ahead and do bedikas chametz. Once the time for bedikas chametz comes, it is usher to go ahead and to do anything else until you have done the bedikas chametz. You can't take a haircut, you can't take a bath, all these things. You can't eat, even learning Torah. You got to stop within the time frame that the bedikas chametz is able to start, and at that point, do the bedikas chametz, and then you can go back to your other previously engagements. If a person does need to do something, he's in the middle of something, then he has to set a shemer. We paskin that l'maisa setting an alarm clock is okay. Set a clock on your phone or something like that. Set an alarm on your phone, and that will permit you to go ahead and do a different activity. There is a minig with several reasons given. We spoke about it last year about setting up the 10 pieces for bedikas chametz. Those 10 pieces are there, so could be that it shouldn't be a bracha levatala, some say. You're searching, if you already searched the whole house and you know there's no chametz there, so then really what are you doing? You already searched the house. That's why we put out 10 pieces, and this way you're going to find it. You'll find your 10 pieces. You will not have searched in vain. The bracha that you make, al bir chametz, will not be in vain, and that's one of the reasons why we go ahead and set out 10 pieces of chametz. You're going to go ahead and say a bracha al bir chametz, and then you're going to go ahead and try to search the entire house without making any hefsek in talking. Search the house. If you do make a hefsek, you don't have to say another bracha, so long as you started the search. And if the talking has to do with the search, like turn off the lights, did we check over here? That's all okay in lechatchila. It's only not lechatchila to start talking about something else, like coronavirus. But if you go ahead and you talk about something that's to do with the bedika, that's totally fine as well. Go ahead and use a flashlight that's mutter as well. It's got to be, in fact, some Zaman I think says it's l'chatchila. You want to go ahead and use the lights in the room should be off with a candle or flashlight in your hand. That was the proper method of doing a bedika. When checking, you have to move anything that could be moved. It's like a bed that's easy to move. You have to move. You have to check under the bed. There could be Cheerios there. Who knows what's there. Including in that is moving the fridge. If it's easy nowadays with these appliances, it's kind of easy to move the stove and everything like that. You should move the stove out. If, however, you come to a place that moving the stove will scratch the floor, like it make a deep scratch or something like that, and it's impossible to move, then you don't have to move anything that's too heavy or will get damaged in the move. anything that you'll cover anything that behind there with bittul, with being mevatel and saying any crumbs behind there I don't want. Heavy to move. Let's say this huge break front or something like that will take 3 people to move it. You don't have to move anything like that. All right, so we'll stop over here. We'll continue with the halachas bidikas chametz next time. Continue steiging and have a great day.